Hello and welcome to the SFCA podcast. Our goal is to inspire travel. We want to expose you to what Miami and South Florida has to offer. From Key Biscayne to Coconut Grove, South Beach to Calle Ocho and everywhere in between. Miami is a vibrant city and offers a wide array of popular attractions and venues. Come join us. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this, our 44th Zoom call. We've brought back a blast from the past. Gisela Marti was one of our first Zoom call recipients, apart from Rolando Aedo back in the day in 2020. She's here for an update of what's going on in the Bureau. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We truly appreciate your participation on this call. A special recognition to all the sales teams, hotel managers, and support staff that are on the call. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome on the call. We share facts, figures, stats of South Florida tourism. We also have some entertaining and informative facts that you hope will enjoy. I'm sure that everyone is familiar with the chat feature. Make sure that you utilize the chat feature, not the Q&A. If you do have a question, by all means, use the Q&A or the chat. I will be either directing the question towards the panelists or answering it for you privately. We do have prizes. Ceci, as I said, will have a gas card, as well as Leslie and Joseph. They'll have a gas card. And then Ashley will be giving away 2 tickets to the Wine and Food Festival. So let me present our panelists today. Regrettably, due to technical issues, Edwin from the Historic Hampton House could not join us this month. He will be joining us again in February for his presentation. We do have Ashley from the Wine and Food Festival. We have Gisela Marti from the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we have Leslie and Joseph from the Expedia Group. So welcome, everybody. We're up to 113 participants so far. And according to my chat, it looks like Kansas City has it all. So I hope you're right. I always root for the underdog. It is what it is. Good morning, Ashley. How are you?
Good morning.
Making you co-host if you want to queue up your presentation.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Always great to have our friends at FIU and the Wine and Food Festival join us. I have some questions at the end of your presentation. Maybe you'll answer them for me during the presentation, so I will refrain from asking them on the front end. The microphone and the panel is yours. Go ahead, Ashley.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Miguel. Appreciate you having me, and I'm excited to be here and share what we have going on at the 2024 Food Network South Beach Wine and Food Festival presented by Capital One. We will kick off things on Thursday, February 22nd. And we've got about 115 events all over South Florida running through Sunday, February 25th. This is the 23rd year of the festival. I've been here for 18 of them. And I'm also an FIU alumni. And hopefully, as everybody knows, the festival is a not-for-profit event that benefits the Chaplain School of Hospitality and Tourism Management at FIU. So the whole purpose of this festival and why we do it is to raise money for the school, for scholarships and building funds and programs. And of course, the majority of our workforce that weekend is made up of hospitality students. So not only are they getting scholarships from the festival, but they're also getting amazing work experience and networking opportunities. So many alumni from the school, including myself, have gone on to do amazing things in the hospitality industry. More than half of our team that works on the festival year-round are FIU alumni. So, we do all of this for a very good cause to support the students. So this is the overview here of who we are and why we do this. In addition to FIU, we are very closely aligned with Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirits, the world's preeminent distributor of alcoholic beverages. They are our host sponsor and integral to everything that we do. And also the connection between Southern Glazers and FIU is very strong. They support a lot of amazing beverage programs at the school as well. So as I mentioned, we're in our 23rd year coming up here. We've raised over $37 million to date for FIU. We have annually make a $34 million impact on Miami-Dade County, which is really important to us as well. I mean, it's all about hospitality. So not just the future of the hospitality industry, but making sure that we're supporting our local hospitality, restaurant, hotel, and small business partners all over the South Florida area. And so I think now's a good time to kind of give you the highlights for this year. I mean, we've got all of our signature events coming back. The grand tasting on the beach on Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 5 o'clock. On Saturday, we're having an amazing performance by DJ Cassidy as one of the highlights of the event. And then Sunday, we'll be announcing a huge performance. We'll be announcing it by the end of this week. That'll be taking place on Sunday at the grand tasting. And then at our north venue, just up the beach, we have our 4 signature events kicking off on Thursday with the Burger Bash, hosted by Rachel Ray. Friday, we have Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives live with Guy Fieri. Saturday, our Tacos and Tequila event with Aaron Sanchez. And then Sunday is an old-fashioned block party hosted by Andrew Zimmern, Melva Wilson, and we have a special performance by Rev Run. So those are our signature events that are on the sand on South Beach. We're really excited about them. There are signature events and we bring them back every year because people love them. So that's very exciting. And then all the events that are going on all over the city. I mean, we've got 40 amazing intimate dinners around the city. We have late night parties. We're doing an Asian night market at the Lowe's. We're doing a tiki cocktail competition at the Surf Comer. We are actually a new event for us. We're doing a Cuban themed event at the National, hosted by Michelle Bernstein and her husband David Martinez. We're doing a Bobby Flay is bringing his show Triple Threat down, and we're doing a triple threat event with local chefs competing to actually go on his show. We've got an amazing lineup of master classes from salty donut to Detroit style pizza making and empanada making and Vietnamese cooking, all kinds of amazing master classes if you're looking for more intimate experiences. So we really tried to put an amazing program together of events that appeal to, everybody who loves food and drink. So we're very excited, lots of great things in the program, and that's what we've got going on for 2024. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, Miguel, or that we have from anyone listening.
Cool. I've opened the chat, so let's see if there's any questions. See, good morning, Georgia from the Sexy Fish. Hopefully we'll see you at this Food and Wine. I guess she's participating. Happy Monday, everyone. And I have a question. Why is it wine and food? Everybody has a tendency of saying food and wine. I assume because of the underwriter?
Food and Wine is the magazine, and we actually used to be sponsored by Food and Wine magazine. We have not been for many years, but we are the wine and food festival because really because of our connection with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Wine comes first. It's really what brought us to produce this festival was wine and spirits. So that's why we put wine first.
Got it. That makes sense. And then secondly, I noticed perusing your website that now you have packages available where you can, or maybe you've already had that. I didn't notice.
Yeah, we do. We actually, we do have packages available. We've been doing that for a while. And what we've done the last couple of years is sort of a make your own. So we've got about 15 different events you can choose from. And if you buy 2, 3, or 4, you get increasing discounts on buying more events so that you really can make a whole weekend out of your festival experience, and you get to save more as you build that package.
Cool. Now, a question for you as well. What is the top 3 most popular events? Which is the one that usually sells out the quickest, second quickest, and third quickest? Well,
actually this year, it was our new event, the Bobby Flay Triple Threat event that I mentioned. That was our first event to sell out. Bobby Flay is really popular, so that event, and he's bringing all of his co-hosts with him. So that event, which is at the Surf Comer, did sell out first. And then I would say really our next events to sell out are always our dinners. I think our most popular dinner this year was Francis Mallman at the Faena. That one sold out very quickly. All of our dinners are amazing, but those smaller events do tend to sell out faster because, we're only selling, 70 to 80 tickets to it, and people buy those really fast. But I think Asian Night Market is probably our second fastest event to sell of kind of the mid-size, the larger events. People love that. Jet Tila hosting that this year at the Lowe's. And actually, not sold out, but gaining in popularity. We started a new program last year, and we expanded it this year. It's going to be at the W. It's called FoodieCon. It's essentially highlighting the digital influencers in the food space. So we all watch Food Network and see Bobby Flay and Rachel Ray and all of those people, but there's a huge, emphasis and that people are really into these online creators, TikTok and Instagram creators doing different things with food. And so we've invited 15 digital content creators to come and talk about how they do their work, and it's not as much about the tasting of food and wine, but really more the discussion of how you you put that content out there and get people to follow you. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And you do very well in tracking all the social media impressions and so on and so forth. So Congrats on that. We do have a question from Carla. It is, do the tickets for the Wine and Food Festival include access to the night market special events?
So everything at the festival is ticketed a la carte. So you look at our program events and you decide what you want to go to, and then every event is purchased individually. So one ticket doesn't get you access to another event. You have to buy a ticket to each event that you want to attend. But something that some people don't know if they've never been before is that when you buy a ticket to any festival event, everything within the event is included. So you're not buying drinks or buying food samples or anything like that. Once you buy a ticket to an event, the price might seem high, but that's because everything is included with your ticket price, unlimited food and drink and entertainment and everything that goes along with it. But yes, each event has to be purchased individually.
Understood. Rightfully so. Thank you very much. Now, are you ready with the question and the 2 tickets?
I am. And this question is going to be a closest to, because it's going to be hard for anyone to nail it on the head. It's a little tricky, but whoever is closest to the answer will win. So our Burger Bash on Thursday night, which we've been hosting for over 20 years, or almost 20 years. There's 3,000 guests that attend. I would like everyone to guess how many pounds of meat are served at the Burger Bash. How many pounds?
That's a doozy. All right, let's see. Okay, we got some starting at
on the head.
Which one?
Ready. It's the answer, because someone got it, is 12,000 pounds. I'm looking right here. It's
12,000. Whoa.
Rhiannon Aguilar.
Rhiannon from the Intercontinental. You're going to the South Beach Wine and Food Festival. Compliments of Ashley Shapiro.
Done.
Yes. Awesome.
That's 4 pounds of meat per guest that's there. That's how much meat they're eating.
Wow. Who eats so where does all the meat go? There's no way 4 pounds of meat per guest.
That's how much is there. I'm guessing some people take a couple bites and throw the rest away. I don't know how anybody does it. When I go to Burger Bash, I have 2 or 3 bites and that's it.
Woo-wee. Wow. Well, congratulations, Rhiannon. I will connect you with Ashley for the tickets. Which, by the way, what are the tickets? 2 tickets to?
2 tickets to the grand tasting on Sunday, which will include a special performance announcing at the end of the week. Okay,
I know Rhiannon's schedule because of other things, but Rhiannon, you got to ask for Sunday off for sure, so you can enjoy it. And forget about work in the afternoons. If you enjoy it thoroughly, you won't be going to the afternoon shift. Guarantee you. Thank you very much, Ashley. Thank you. And we are moving on to Gisela Marti. Gisela, welcome once again. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm fine. It's great to be here. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick before you start, Gisela, while you get, if you want to move the preview and just put slideshow. There we go. Perfect. Before you start, everyone, Gisela, as well as Joseph and Ashley, and who else will be on there? And Leslie will be sharing their presentations, and we'll send those to you in the post show notes. Don't worry, along with their contact info in the event you want to speak to them. All right. Without further ado, the lady that's been with the Bureau since forever, and she's responsible for all this amazing tourism that we've had for probably, a couple of decades, if not more. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of Marketing and Tourism, Gisela Marti.
Thank you, Miguel, and it's great to be here with everybody. Before I quickly kick it off, I just wanted to share with you that we see some preliminary numbers coming out of January, and I will say that we've already had an incredible start to the winter. And we're very, very excited about that. And I know that our friends here at Expedia are going to talk a little bit about what they're seeing and what they're seeing in the future. But in the meantime, we wanted to share with you some of the activities when we're putting together our overall marketing programs. We know that the consumer behavior it's really changing at all times. And really, our programs are really developed so that we are in every single touch point, with consumers, whether it's, in their inspiration phase, when they're thinking about where are they going to travel, from the time that they're shopping and booking, from the time that they're visiting, and from the time that they're actually here in the destination. So it's very important for us that we have a really an integrated plan as we're developing, and consumers are definitely considering where to travel to. And I just wanted to share some quick highlights of some programs that are already underway. And you just had Ashley, which is really a premier event that's coming up in February. But a lot of the work that we're currently doing is around social media. We're collaborating with many influencers and content creators. We also lean into key moments, such as events that are happening in our community. So whether that's the boat show, or we just had the launch of the Icon of the Seas, which is the largest ship in the world, or the pickleball slam that's happening on Miami Beach. So these are all really exciting moments that then we lean on. And then from a meetings perspective, this is a great opportunity as well for us to also be connecting with meeting planners to really increase Miami's consideration for meetings in the future. And I just wanted to share with you just some quick highlights of some of the work our team has been doing through our media relations team. And this is through the ongoing pitching for journalists. And these are some examples of publications in the US and Canada. Here are some other ones in Latin America. These include UOL from Brazil and so many others, which, and again, important for that consideration. And then here's some other ones from Europe, from publications from Italy, Scandinavia, and Germany. So this is part of our overall plan. But I did want to share with you, here are a couple of programs that are currently, from a paid advertising perspective, that are in market. The one that I will highlight is that does very, very well is our Winter Trigger campaign that's currently running in market now through March. It's actually in partnership with Expedia. And what it is when temperatures begin to dip, which we know that they are in other parts of the country, is when we will target consumers with some of the beautiful imagery to really entice them to come to our destination. But we've got all these programs in market, and we're really, really excited about it. I'm leaving you here with my contact if you want to reach out, if you have any other questions. But I know that Miguel will share the deck with you. And if as you review it, if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Gisela. And we're going to segue to Leslie and Joseph. Let me know when you are ready to engage.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Gisela.
Good morning, South Florida. We'll give it a second here. Leslie's going to drive our presentation. All right. I'm Joseph Gillen. I'm a senior market manager with Expedia Group, and I'm going to be going over some South Florida lodging trends today. And I'm conscious that our trends are really kind of Miami focused. So for all our friends in Broward, please reach out to us. There's much more to talk about. We have time constraints, and we decided today we'll focus on Miami, but we'd love to look at the Broward trends as well. And of course, they correlate, right? And then you'll hear from my colleague Leslie in a bit, and she's going to be going over, spoiler alert here, is some ideas, some strategies for our hotel partners to support ADR. We know owners want to see ADR growth, and it's looking like that could be a little bit of a tough thing this year, but we got some ideas to throw out there. So thank you, Miguel, and to the SFCA for having us today. Also to the GMCVB, Andrew Wobensmith actually invited us. He couldn't be here today. He invited us to fill in and go over some of these trends. But with that, let's get started. So I'm going to be going over three main metrics, occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR primarily. And all of our data comes through STR. But what we've done just to sort of simplify and make it easier, we've taken the STR weekly tracker. We've averaged those weeks together for January, and then we've rounded to whole numbers just for simplicity's sake. I will be going fairly quickly, but again, all of you will get this deck from Miguel, so no worries there. You'll have it to reference. But let's start with occupancy. And if we look back to January 2023, right, let's remember what was happening in the market last year. It was really an awesome time. It was almost like we could do no wrong because 22 was a pretty great year too, right? And we see that Miami-Dade County overall last year was up 8% in occupancy in January, Brickell downtown 9%, and Miami Beach double-digit growth, 12%. If we fast forward now to this year, what's going on this year? The data that I have here is up through the week of January 20th, week ending January 20th, just because that was the last week that we had from STAR. But very, very positive news here because Miami-Dade County, on top of that growth we saw last year, we grew another 4%. Awesome. And look at Brickell downtown, 14% over a phenomenal year last year. And Gisela mentioned the icon of the seas. Look, I think that a lot of the growth for Brickell downtown is being fueled by a very busy port, which is awesome to see. There's actually 8 new ships, I think, is what I read this year for this cruise season. So it's bringing tremendous demand, and it's especially hitting the Brickell downtown area. You know, there's the proximity there to the port. And then we see Miami Beach, okay, -1 compared to last year with occupancy, but hey, that's flat on top of what was a really good year. So positive stuff across the board here. If we move on now to look at the same but for ADR, we see that last year again, ADR, we grew at 3% for Miami-Dade. Much of that came from Brickell at 9%. And Miami Beach, again, last year was flat in ADR, but flat to me is not really a bad word here with the years we've been having in South Florida. Let's look at this year. We actually see growth across the board. Miami-Dade as a whole up 1%, and the submarkets of Brickell downtown, Miami Beach up 2% and 3% respectively. So awesome, awesome stuff. And lastly, with these 3 metrics, let's look at RevPAR, which for those of you that, you know, I'm conscious too that not everybody is on the hotel side on this call. RevPAR is revenue per available room. And basically we look at occupancy together with ADR to look at some of these metrics. And what we will see is last year, wow, double-digit growth for Miami-Dade County across the board. And you can see it there for Brickell downtown Miami Beach. I see a question. Could you show ADR again? We'll be emailing this out so we can or you can review it then. January 2024. So this year for RevPAR, right? Miami-Dade County up 6%, Brickell downtown 18%. Again, busy port. And Miami Beach up 2%. So this is good stuff. But if we now look towards what's happening on a week-over-week basis, right? So what's really happening right now? And I'll start by looking at occupancy. Occupancy, you can see there, this goes back to the week ending 12/30 and finishing the week of ending on January the 20th. You can see occupancy up, down. So pretty stable, good stuff between about 76% and 80%. And that 76.2% actually represents just a slight increase over last year's same week. So just looking at the week of January 20th, just a slight increase. Now, let's look at ADR. It should say ADR underneath that slide. There we go. ADR has been trending a little bit, you know, more downwards. You can easily see that. And when we get to this last week reported here, on a week, looking at the week ending January 20th to the same week last year, it has now fallen just below. So while I looked at those trends earlier, January this year to last year, where you could see we were still up a little bit, it's slowly coming down each week. And just that last week compared to the previous is now down and below the same week last year. And if we look at the conjunction of these things by looking at RevPAR, we see a similar thing. And this last week of January 20th compared to the same week last year, just down a little bit. So what's the story here? The story is things are trending down a little bit, but you know what? We all want to sustain higher ADRs. We know that, right? Owners are interested in that. It's important to all of us, important to the business. But one thing is, as hotels have been reacting and ADRs have been coming down a little bit, you can see occupancy remaining stable. So it is a signal that there's demand, and perhaps if the rate is right, the travelers are responding positively to it. So it's important to keep that in mind with your rate strategy. There is still some lingering concerns this year about economic recession, and people's savings are a little bit tighter, right? They had all this built up savings that they accumulated during the pandemic, and now that's been spent. So maybe a little more price conscious year. Okay, so we've looked at kind of what happened last year, what's happening in this moment, but I'm sure a lot of you want to know what is ahead, right? We don't have any crystal ball, but we can take a look at a few things here. We have in front of us a bar graph showing hotel occupancy and how it's pacing against last year, looking ahead. And the first thing that jumps out is positive. You see most of those shoots are actually just above last year. So hotel occupancy is pacing ahead overall. If we dig in a little bit, though, to that specific area highlighted right there, which is kind of March 9th through March 19th, a gap does emerge. And that period specifically, I guess many of us would think that March this year would be an awesome month, right, at first glance, because Easter comes in March, some spring breaks are earlier. But one thing that is, yes, and I'm sorry, there's an important question in the chat. This is Miami-Dade occupancy on this slide. I should have mentioned that. Thanks for the question. But one thing we're missing this year in March is that World Baseball Classic that happened last year at Marlins Park. It drove a ton of compression to the market. There is the the Caribbean Series, sort of a smaller version of that event taking place in February, but we don't have that event to the same extent that we had last year when it really brought the compression in March. So if you are seeing this as a hotel and you're behind in March, it's important to start cracking right away and apply some type of strategy there, get ahead of this trend. Now, one additional slide here is on the short-term rental, the vacation rental side of things. If you think to last year, vacation rental business was actually down a little bit, but we see it's rebounding pretty much steadily throughout the year here. So for those of us on the hotel side, let's remember, there's some overlap here, some competition here. And when you're thinking about your rate strategy, if travelers are concerned about, high ADRs and prices this year, they're probably finding that if they're traveling with friends and family, it might be more affordable to just stay in a house together or stay in an apartment together rather than book a hotel room. So this is something we should pay attention to. I also want to mention there's a lot more to talk about, and I'm going to leave it here, but we have, big events throughout the year, Taylor Swift in October, Formula One coming in May. We'd love to talk to you about all of those things. So please reach out to us. Leslie or myself or your market manager, and we'd be happy to go through much more with you. So just in summary of what I've presented, demand is pretty much steady throughout the year. We saw that in occupancy. ADR is declining pretty rapidly, and that's sort of what's affecting our RevPAR the most right at this moment. Leslie, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Joseph. And as a reminder, my name is Leslie Golding, and I am going to get into a little bit about what's going on in the current market and how you can tie it into essentially your Expedia strategy and can make sure that you're capitalizing on the current market. Again, the name of the game is to stay ahead and take actions in advance. So let's talk about the billboard effect as it pertains to being relevant on an online travel agency. We did a creative study last year in 2023 in which we measured the traveler's behavior in their path to purchase prior to the booking. And what we found was that 80% of travelers visited an online travel agency prior to their purchase, regardless of where they booked. We also found that nearly 3 in 5 travelers did not have a specific destination in mind or considered multiple destinations when they first decided to take a trip. So this really speaks to the importance of having a brand presence, not just on your own websites, but across other channels and platforms like OTAs. So that's the billboard effect. Travelers turning to OTAs to be inspired, plan, research, comparison shop, and book. So what are some ways to stand out on Expedia? So one way to reach a targeted traveler is via a marketing co-op campaign. A co-op campaign is essentially a collaborative marketing effort where hotels pull their marketing dollars together for a display advertising campaign. There are many ways to do this. This year, we actually are exploring the possibility of launching themed campaigns. And one example of this would be cruise hotels. So hot topic today, icon of the seas. This example would mean properties wanting to target cruise stays can get more exposure through that segment. This is just one example. So if you have new ideas, definitely reach out to us because we are definitely open to suggestions. So we're going to talk a little bit more today about how you can use Expedia to get the most valuable bookings through our B2B affiliate network. So a little bit on the B2B network. When most of you think of Expedia, you think of us as just the OTA and our retail business on our direct sites like Expedia and Hotels.com. But the truth is, we're so much more than just an OTA. Our affiliate network consists of thousands of affiliates like major airlines, global financial institutions, and lots of travel agents who absolutely love to upsell their travelers. This means frequent flyer programs, credit card redemption programs. And the reason why this is such a great segment to target is because you can really see it reflected in the almost double ADR numbers, longer length of stay, and a higher booking window. So a couple of ways that you can target. First, by optimizing your package rates. So package rates are essentially when we offer a special opaque rate bundled with a transportation component, such as a flight. Package rates are heavily consumed by our B2B affiliates, as many of them, such as the thousands of travel agents, are making vacation bundles for their travelers. So making sure that your opaque rate is attractive, competitive, and applied to all rate plans like your advanced purchase, et cetera, for travelers bundling their products. Secondly, through Accelerator. And Accelerator is one of our tools where essentially hotel partners offer additional compensation for better exposure on our site. Now, why would you do something like that? On our direct-to-consumer sites, it'll give you a boost in visibility. And on the B2B side, this can work in a number of ways. Essentially, when you add Accelerator on the B2B path, we share that additional margin with our affiliates, many of them being travel agents, who now will work even harder to promote your property to our guests. Some partners could favor properties with great guest reviews. Another could prioritize properties with specific amenities, but most partners are concerned with the profit they'll receive if a customer books a property. And the third way to stimulate B2B growth is through your content completeness. Our B2B market can go places where our brands aren't as prevalent. That's why it's so important to fill your listing with everything that your property or your listing has to offer. And so that means they might have travelers from certain regions or certain lifestyles that might have something unique to your segment that you can attract via your listing. Your property might have it, so make sure to call it out and put it all out there. So these are just 3 ways. There are many ways to get more incremental business from our affiliate network. So definitely reach out to us or your market manager with any questions, and we can have a one-on-one conversation. So to wrap up, while demand and occupancy have remained constant, we are starting to lose a little bit of momentum with ADR. So we spoke about how you can leverage OTAs and the billboard effect. And if you're a hotel partner, definitely reach out to us at Expedia Group, because we would be happy to talk more about marketing campaigns, themed co-op opportunities, and ways to support your ADR by tapping into our B2B segment. And of course, any other topics that you'd like to speak with us on. So that's all we have for today. I'll pass it back to you, Joseph, to go through the trivia question. Just a reminder that you'll be receiving our deck and our information is included in the slides. So definitely reach out to Joseph or myself if you have any questions or if you need help connecting with your market manager.
Alrighty, so our question for the $50 gas card giveaway is going to be, what percent of travelers, based on what Leslie was talking about, what percent of travelers visit an OTA before making any travel purchase? I see Nathan at 80. Nathan Patterson was the first one in there at 80, and that is correct, 80%.
Perfect.
Congrats,
Perfect.
Nathan.
Nathan, congratulations. You are the winner of a $50 gas card. Thank you, Expedia. Thank you, Andrew, who's actually a participant on today's call. He took a 1 month sabbatical. Thank you for Joseph for thanking him at the beginning of your presentation. He did put this together for Expedia for presentation as well as Gisela. Also, Gisela had mentioned, for those of you not following the chat, that Copa is coming up during the summer, so that will be another plug for you. Great. Thank you very much again, Leslie and Joseph. And now we move on to making great time. It's only 37. Moving on to Ceci and all things South Beach. Hello, Ceci. How are you?
Sorry. Hi, how are you? I had a little glitch here that I had to take care of, but I'm here. I'm great. I'm great. Listen, thank you everyone for all that you do. We've had kind of an interesting season. It's been hot, it's been cold, but it's still Miami Beach and everybody loves being here. I'm working right now on our Ocean Drive Promenade music series every single Sunday. I just was posting the February. I'm going to send it to you via email or via on the chat. We're celebrating Black History Month with Afrobeats this coming Sunday, and then Danny Mixon for the second Sunday is coming in from New York, who's a classic jazz legend. So I encourage you to send your guests over to beautiful Lummis Park right on Ocean Drive every Sunday at 5 o'clock. We just had the Amernay yesterday, the Amernay String Quartet. We had about 200 people show up. So it's lovely. We enjoy having the sponsorship of City Bike, who sends us has provided us with folding chairs. So we have loaner chairs for people. We find that about half of the people that come are locals and about half of them are guests that are wandering over from the hotels. So it's a beautiful way to experience lovely music outdoors in Miami Beach, right on in Lummis Park, in front of the ocean, right? It's just, we have a little bit more planned for Lummis Park and Ocean Drive, but right now it's a beautiful time just to experience America's Riviera as we see coming into the South Beach Wine and Food Festival. It's always nice to hear Ashley and everything happening, and they've expanded all over South Beach. But also remember that we have things ongoing on Lincoln Road. There's the markets that are happening. There's beautiful artwork. There's workouts at 11:11. That giant woman that's out there, the burning woman. So beautiful art that is around for people to come and see. I'm working on doing a little bit more art in our hotels on Ocean Drive for Culture Crawl, which happens every month. So please stay tuned and you'll see a little bit more art happening inside the hotels. I like the idea of having things that people can go to and they don't have to have a time to be there. So having art in the art and cultural district, I think, is really important. Don't forget the Wolfsonian, the Jewish Museum, the New World Symphony in their schedule, the soundscapes that are coming up. I think there's 2 in February. One's February 10th and the other one's February 24th, where people can go sit in the park outdoors and listen to the beautiful music of the New World Symphony. There's a reason that the sidewalk cafes are most prevalent in Miami Beach, is because everybody wants to be outdoors if they can, right? Some of these the restaurants have very few people inside. Everybody wants to sit outside. I guarantee you, most of the people that are sitting indoors is because they're from Miami. The ones that are visiting us are all sitting outside. So just a little reminder that we've got things that are here, beautiful art, the Bass Museum that you can go to ongoing, that don't need to be a special event or don't need to be happening during this time frame. But the Wine and Food Festival brings so many people that really enjoy the culinary arts as well. So we're looking forward to, more things South Beach. I'm also already talking to Mickey Markoff from the Air and Sea Show. So we're looking forward to that. As I heard earlier, it is March and April, and it is South Beach and Miami Beach. And people just want to be here because it's a beautiful beach. It's a beautiful park. It's beautiful weather. We have great hotels, great mixology scene, wonderful culinary scene. So the GMCVB just does such a great job highlighting everything good about our county and South Florida. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much.
I
All
have
right,
really
you have a
busy
trivia
December.
question?
I had a really busy
I'm sorry?
December. I'm sorry. Let me recap for a second. We had a really busy December.
Sure.
We had holidays on Ocean Drive. We had 2 Festival of Lights. We had a wonderful New Year's Eve. This is something that we traditionally want to continue next year. We're looking for 3 weekends that they do the Holiday Festival of Lights, and we're continuing with our New Year's Eve that we want to do every single year. We had 15 minutes and some of the best fireworks around. So this is going to be our marquee holidays on Ocean Drive.
Cool. Thank you, Ceci. You have a trivia question for us?
I do. My trivia question is, we're celebrating Black History Month at the Promenade Music Series. Who's going to be the next music group that's playing? Did anybody catch that?
Let's see.
I haven't shared it yet. Afrobeats. Yes, that's right. It's Afrobeat.
Afrobeats. Perfect. So Christian.
Afrobeat All-Stars. Yep.
Christian, congratulations. Christian, you will get a $50 gas card, compliments of Ceci and the Ocean Drive Association. Thank you very much. Well, that wraps it up. We are running very, very early, about 17 minutes ahead of schedule. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Again, thank you to Ashley. Thank you, Gisela, for joining us. Thank you, Joseph, Leslie, and Ceci, and Andrew, who's behind the scenes that put all this together. Next month, February 12th, at 10 a.m., we will have Edwin and the Historic Hampton House on deck, as well as some other surprise guests. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Stay warm. Enjoy the cool weather because it'll be gone before you even know it. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Our goal is to inspire travel. We want to expose you to what Miami and South Florida has to offer. From Key Biscayne to Coconut Grove, South Beach to Calle Ocho, and everywhere in between. Miami is a vibrant city and offers a wide array of popular attractions and venues. Come join us.